Hey guys, it's Alissa. I just noticed I look really pasty white in this lighting, but that's okay. It's all good. Today I wanted to do a video about my favorite, since we're approaching the beginning of school, I wanted to talk to you about my favorite TV shows as a child that I watched before I left for school and when I got home after school. I don't know if it's like this now, because I feel like kids are so into video gaming and are more involved in like sports and activities. I don't feel like they come home maybe necessarily and watch TV like we did. I can remember specifically coming home, and if I didn't do my homework right away, I would sit down and watch TV for a little while. And I don't know if kids do that now. Maybe they do. If you have children, let me know what your kids' after school schedule looks like, because I would just be curious, because I feel like, it's maybe quite a bit different than when I was young. I'm getting ready to turn 29, so I'm not super old, but I'm old enough, for a generation, I guess, to kind of have passed and things to be a little bit different. But I'm pretty excited about this video, and hopefully I won't start coughing. I'm just going to apologize in advance. This weather's killing my sinuses. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Man, this is like super professional quality, isn't it? And I haven't really learned. Rochelle is sort of teaching me. She's much better with like the video editing part. So you'll notice her videos are a little more, I guess, professional looking, and mine are a hot mess. So hopefully you're still listening. But anyway, the very first one, and is my top favorite, is Wishbone. I adore Wishbone the dog. Jack Russells are my favorite kind of dog, and actually I have one. He's over there passed out. We went for a really long walk today, so he's tired. And Wishbone was about a Jack Russell who could talk to the audience, but could not talk to where his human family could hear him. And, of course, they never knew that he was having all these interactions with us. But Wishbone would take a scenario that he and his family, his owner is a little boy named Joe and his mother, and he would take a situation that Joe or the family or friends were somehow in and relate it to a classic book. And I really wish the show was on now, because I feel like with books like Harry Potter and the Hunger Games series and Aragon and all of those books that are really popular, I feel like Wishbone in the series could have done a lot with that. And it was actually put on by PBS, which people give PBS a lot of flack, but it's actually one of my favorite channels. I really find myself enjoying a lot of the things that they have to offer. And Wishbone, one of the things I really liked about it was that for me personally, it sort of helped launch an interest in me reading chapter books. He didn't really do very many like short books. He did really famous books like Silas Marner and Romeo and Juliet. He did a little bit of Greek mythology, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. That's one of my very favorite Wishbones. Of course, I like Halloween, so that one appeals to me. But I just really feel like it was a good quality show, and it was just fun, and I still watch I'm so glad whoever put all the episodes on YouTube did that. Whoever you are, if you're watching, I love you, because I love that. I can watch Wishbone anytime I want. But the next one is Reading Rainbow. I am the biggest Reading Rainbow / Levar Burton fan ever. He retweeted me one time on Twitter, and I had like a complete fangirl freak out. And I think I sort of scared Andrew a little bit, because he was just like, you don't even know if that's really Levar. And I'm like, dude, it's Levar. I don't care if it is or isn't. In my mind, it totally was. But I just love Reading Rainbow. I loved how they had a mixture of LeVar Burton going out into, like on these little field trips, and it all, of course, coincided with whatever the theme of the certain episode was. He would go and on a field trip and kind of like experience that, and then they would have a kid's picture book or storybook to relate to it. And I just love it. I found so many great books that I still use with my own classroom that I teach. And back in the day, like being a Reading Rainbow Award recipient was like a big deal if you were a children's author. And there's so many great books that sometimes you can still find like in the library that have, the Reading Rainbow seal on it. But I just loved it. One of my favorite episodes is the one where he makes pizza, and he's actually in his house and like showing the kids how to make pizza and the whole process of it, and they have a book that goes along with it. And then there's another one where he talks about teamwork, and he does this. There's probably going to be some singing in this video, so I'm going to apologize. But he sings this like teamwork song, and there's this whole dance that goes with it. But I just love it. And Reading Rainbow was actually re-released as an iPad app, which I think is amazing. It's the only reason I even want an iPad. Like, not that I'm hating on Apple or iPhone or anything, but like I never really was that interested before. And then when Levar tweeted that I taught Levar, like, you know, we're close personal friends, but whenever he announced that he was having the app, I was like, I have to have an iPad right now. And so I'm hoping for one maybe for Christmas. But anyway, I just love Reading Rainbow, and that's another one that I think there's some old episodes of it on YouTube, and it just makes me beyond happy that I can watch that. But the next one is the Torkelsons. Oh my goodness. I'm obsessed with the Torkelsons, and I watch them on YouTube too. I'm probably selling out a lot of people that maybe aren't supposed to have these things posted, but I love it. I love YouTube for that reason. But the Torkelsons was about a family with 5 kids and a single mom. The dad had left. I never really understood. I'm pretty sure they were like formally divorced, but I'm not 100% positive about that. But it was about a woman named Millicent Torkelson, who was kind of just like a seamstress and did little jobs on the side. And she had 5 kids and a boarder named Boarder Hodges, who rented a room in her basement. And the main character sort of centers around her oldest daughter, Dorothy Jane Torkelson, who sits in her bay window up in her room and talks to the man in the moon about her problems and stuff. And what I like about it is, you don't see a lot of shows, or at least I'm not aware of a lot of shows that are clean comedy that are about the South without like making fun of us and degrading us. And I especially like that the stories are so relatable for now. I hate that it only lasted 1 season, because it's about a family struggling financially, and the mom struggling to find like a guy, that will love her and will love her children. And it's about Dorothy James struggling to, want to be popular and want to have money and want to be like the other kids, but her poverty level sort of holds her back. And it's just so familiar to some of the things that were going on right now. But I just love it. So definitely check it out. It's the Torkelsons, and if I can figure out how to link it below, I'll try to. But if not, just type it into your Google search. And it's just one of my very favorite shows. The next one is, I'm going to do some of these kind of fast because this video is already getting kind of long, is Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I love Melissa Joan Hart. I like Melissa and Joey that comes on now. But I'm kind of obsessed with Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I love that show. I love Salem. I love her aunts. I love the setting. That it's in Massachusetts, and it's kind of got like this Halloween-y vibe, and I love her personality on the show, that she's kind of a goody two-shoes, but she's sort of sarcastic, and I really can relate to that. And I just love it. I've always enjoyed, not in like a satanic way, but I've always enjoyed like Bewitched and like silly comedies about witches and like Halloween and things like that. And I just really enjoy Sabrina. The only time, that I wasn't super crazy about it was towards the end of this series, when it got more about, and I guess they did that too because Sabrina was growing up, but I enjoyed it less when it was about like the relationship stuff and like her and Harvey and Josh and all that mess, and when it wasn't as much about like the silly witchcraft stuff. But I think the first like 4 or 5 seasons are just completely awesome. And my favorite episode is A River of Candy Corn Runs Through It, so Google that. It's a good one. And then the next 2 are Hey Dude and Salute Your Shorts. I think anybody that came home after school watched the Nickelodeon blocks in the afternoon. And I mean, of course, there's all the good ones like Doug and Rugrats and things like that. But I particularly enjoyed Salute Your Shorts, about the kids at camp, with Dina and Donkey Lips and all of them, and Budnick. I just thought it was hilarious. And even, it's funny because now as an adult, going back and watching it on iTunes, I get some of those jokes more than I did when I was younger. I'm like, oh, like that's pretty clever. So definitely check that out. I love it. It's about a group of kids that are at a summer camp. And their counselor, you know, he's kind of a loser and a nerd. And it's just like typical teen comedy. There's some romance and some slapstick and some silly, gross stuff. And I think it's something that you could probably watch with your like upper elementary, middle school kids. And the same for Hey Dude. Hey Dude is basically Salute Your Shorts, only it happens at a ranch. And it's the same group of, you know, upper middle school. I think actually the Hey Dude characters are a little bit older. They're more like college kids that are coming in to work at this camp. But it's very clean comedy. And it's the same thing for the guy that runs the ranch. He's like a Wall Street guy who decides he wants to run a ranch in Arizona. And he doesn't really know what the heck he's doing. But it's just a really cute show. And then the next ones I'm going to go through pretty quickly. Mickey Mouse Club, when Carrie Russell was on it. I love all of those. Then Kids Incorporated, when Jennifer Love Hewitt and Fergie were on it. The plots weren't actually that great, but I loved Jennifer Love Hewitt. And I loved all their like really sparkly glitter uniforms. I thought that was awesome. I mean, like the theme song, you know, Kids Incorporated, Kids. Love it. Love it. And then the next one, Gullah Gullah Island. I don't know why. I think because the mom on that show looked a whole lot like my mother's best friend Jackie when I was growing up. That show's like comforting to me. I really liked Gullah Gullah Island. I love Charleston, South Carolina, and that like whole, I don't know why I'm waving this marker around. And then that whole like Gullah culture and the Southern South Carolina culture. I just really like that show. And it's cute with Benny Benny and the Pollywog, and it's good for little kids. And it's much better than like Dora, where they just play the same episode like 6 or 7 times a week until parents want to beat their heads against the wall. Gullah Gullah, they didn't do that. Each episode was quite a bit different from the other. And then the next one, I loved Pee-wee's Playhouse. Oh my gosh. You know, whatever Paul Reubens does in his personal life, that's fine, whatever. But I love him as Pee Wee Herman. I think he's hysterical. I think Pee-wee's Playhouse is one of the funnier shows. And what I like about it is it does have a little bit of adult humor, but they're able to integrate it in a way that you wouldn't, like as a child, you wouldn't pick up on it. And I just think it's hysterical. And the thing that I find the funniest is that Cowboy Curtis is actually very, very talented, popular actor Lawrence Fishburne. And a lot of people don't know that. And then they watch it. I've had several friends I've told that to, and they're like, whoa, like, that is Lawrence Fishburne. But definitely check Pee-wee's Playhouse out. It is ridiculous. And it's silly, but it's just one of those, if you're having a bad day, inevitably there's something on it that's going to make you laugh. And I especially enjoyed the Penny cartoons. Now, Penny kind of had a mouth on her with the claymation girl with like the penny eyes. Like her and Randy, oh man, Randy, that puppet that used to come out of the ceiling. Now I'm getting excited. He used to make me so angry. But yeah, I know I sound like a crazy person today. And then the last few are Beetlejuice the cartoon. I liked Beetlejuice the movie as a kid. I don't know if that was necessarily appropriate, but I really enjoyed it when I was younger. And the cartoon they had about him and Lydia with the, what did they call it? They look like Tremors, like the Tremor, but those earthworm things. Like I just used to love that cartoon so much. And then the other ones, I watched Little Bear with my grandma, and the little boy she babysat a lot. And that's another one that's like, oh, that's comforting. And then Sesame Street. I love Sesame Street before it became all about Elmo. Back when they had pigs in space. And when they had more of like Kermit and Big Bird. And with the original cast with Maria and Luis. And the old Mr. Hooper. Anybody that watches Sesame Street will know what I'm talking about. But anyway, this video is already way too long. And let me know below what your favorite after-school show is now or was when you were a child. I would love to hear your responses. And Rochelle and I are going to try to start doing videos once a week of different kinds of things. Some beauty, some lists like this one's. And Rochelle has actually started doing a little DIY series for you. So look forward to that. And I will talk to you later. Bye.